Go to 62, please. Come on, bring it. Yes, sir?
When are we going to start our Frankenstein title draft?
Oh, later, once we do this. The first drafts are just so great, y'all. Some of the best writing that I have seen. Aiden, take a look at page 62. Now, this time, it's not going to be as dry, I would say. More like a science book with Newton's 3 laws. We're going to give it a really good example. The bumper car rides that we could not do this year at the drive-through fair. Okay? Now, when it comes to bumper car rides, I gotta tell you, ain't no shame. I go for the smallest person, and I'm gonna sideswipe you. See if I'm right. Nope, we're gonna get started. I need 5 minutes. Aiden, start with paragraph 1 for me. We're on 62 with Bump, Bumpin' Away. The science of bumper cars.
Bumper cars are amusement parks seem to appeal to all ages. You may have hidden one and felt joking effects as one bump takes or whams into another in a controlled collision.
Absolutely. All right, Kelly, paragraph 2.
Bumper car rides are created with safety in mind. The cars are rimmed with thick, rubber bumpers. These bumpers provide cushioning that lessens the force of the impact. You feel the collision, but it doesn't hurt you, and it doesn't toss you out of the car.
Yeah, because otherwise we just keep going. All right, Marshall, going to look at balanced forces, paragraph 3.
With all this protection, why do you still feel such a jolt?
Yeah.
The answer is in Newton's third law of motion. This law states that if one object exerts a force on a second object, the second object exerts a force equal in magnitude and opposite in direction on the first object.
Okay, so even if in a bumper car, I go for all the little people. Yeah? I know, Chloe, but that's what makes it fun. If we're in bumper cars, girl, I'm coming at you. And I'm going to sideswipe, so you're going to see if what we're about to read in this experiment, if me sideswiping you, being the bigger person here, and I don't mean in my mind, because once again, I'm talking about coming at you at bumper cars. If I sideswipe you, is that really the best thing to do, or should I get you from the front? Yeah, that's what we're about to see. All right, thank you for being patient. You can go ahead and go. All right, and let's go to paragraph 4, please, Taylor.
Okay. At first, this law doesn't seem to match up with
Reality.
reality. After all, when a bat hits a ball, the ball can fly hundreds of yards. The bat does not appear to move backward at all. But if you are one doing the hitting, you know exactly where the force goes. It is the vibration that goes into your hands, your wrists, and if you hit hard enough, right into the bones of your shoulders. The jolt and quiver of the bat is an amount of energy exactly equal to that which sends the ball soaring all the way into the upper deck of the strands. The two forces that indeed an exact balance.
And this is why for my baseball players and softball players, when it is y'all's season to start practicing and to start playing, if you're really one of the good hitters, like you're going to hit that ball most of the time that you're up to the plate, I know that there are going to be some days where they're like, my arm really hurts. Like when they start complaining about notes or something, I know that what they're saying is true because they're going through their baseball and their softball season. They're hitting over, and y'all got to listen to me first before I actually address you. They're hitting the ball over and over again. And for those of you who are lucky enough to, when you're up to plate, actually hit the ball, you do know that you feel that vibration, and it really can start affecting your shoulder. Yes, you may go now. All right, thank you, Tay. Now, let's take a look at citing the evidence. We're going to do this first. Okay? We're going to do this. I'm not letting anyone else out of the room right now. It's not going to be the mass exodus. It's going to be one at a time. Now, the cite evidence before we go on with Daniel to page 63. Look at A. To determine the main idea. We would have called that the topic sentence, and y'all, I've already told Miss Liz, it's just some of the best papers. And I teach 7th and 8th grade. They've been here longer. They've been writing longer. And they're great. They're great. But I haven't had 5th grade writers like this in ever. Yeah, just so good, y'all's papers. She's read a few of them. She's really impressed. We would have called it our topic sentence. Okay? So to determine the main idea, ask what the paragraph is mostly about. They want you to underline the main idea of just paragraph 2. Go to paragraph 2 for that main idea. Did y'all get the very first sentence?
Yes.
Yeah. Bumper cars are created with safety in mind. And then they go through the examples, kind of like we did, with whether or not the creature was good, evil, or both, right? You went through examples. You've got those bumpers, the real thick one, around the bottom that you see there. They went through all of the examples, telling us how they're supposed to be safe. Now, one of the things that they said, and it has been quite a while since I've gone after a little person, Chloe, in a bumper car. I know, right? They said they're supposed to have seat belts. Okay, all I'm saying is that if I'm not that old, I will tell you that at the South Carolina State Fair, I don't think all those bumper cars have seat belts yet.
They do.
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I tried to get out of one when I was like 3.
So before I started coming at you, I know, because when you were 3 was probably the last time I was actually in one, going after a 3-year-old.
Wow.
Because you go faster when you hit the little ones. It makes it more fun. It really does. Yes, ma'am.
Can we have a quiz in science and a test in history on the same day?
Yeah, they can't have more than 3 tests today.
But I need test and test, but we
Yeah.
can do a quiz and a test.
Oh yeah, they're gonna try. They call everything. That class calls everything a test, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now for cite evidence B, take a look. It's called key details. These were when y'all were developing your 3 paragraphs for Frankenstein. You really explained your reasons so well. Remember when you backed yourself up with quotes too. For B, 62, key details support that main idea. So go to paragraph 4. Circle just a key detail in paragraph 4 that supports the idea that Newton's law doesn't seem to match up with reality. This is the one where you're talking about baseball or softball. Yes, sir.
I already know what it's doing.
You do? Then put your mask on. And tell me.
After all, when a bat hits a ball, the ball can fly hundreds of yards.
Did anyone also circle the next sentence?
Yeah.
Well, listen to the next sentence. I wouldn't mind circling that one too. The bat does not appear to move backward at all. Y'all, it's not like playing softball or playing baseball. It's like a cartoon. You know how it would be in a cartoon? You know, oh yeah, or when you hit the ball, it doesn't go like either come back and hit you in the head, like you're saying, or when you're in a cartoon, when you hit the ball in baseball, softball, and the bat would go boing. Yeah, right? But what the reality of it is the bat is kind of going boing, because after a while, you can really start hurting your muscles in your arms. You really can. After in a batting practice, I mean, that can be really rough on a player the next day. So for any of y'all that do, since I'm not a very big note giver teacher, but like on writing days, you know, we write a lot on writing days. But I would kind of really need to know if, hey, I had batting practice last night. You know, because that really would, I might say something about your handwriting. And without you telling me that you had that batting practice, then I don't know that your arm was literally going boing all night during batting practice. Yes, Arif.
I didn't notice this, but I left my lunchbox in the.
You can go and get it. Yes, ma'am.
I also circled the jolt and the quiver of the bat is an amount of energy exactly equal to it.
That's a nice one as well. Charlie?
Can I use the restroom?
Sure, he is back. We have time, but there's only going to be one at a time because it keeps us out of trouble. Daniel, 63, please.
The force the butter feels is like the jolt you feel from a bumper car collision. Once force meets the other force in the opposite direction, the car's rubber bumpers
Yeah.
absorb part of the energy of the collision. Another part of the energy goes into the slight backward movement of your car that results from the collision. The rest of the energy goes into your body as a strong jolt.
Yeah, and y'all know how it is. I mean, we talked about it last week when I was able to be here, and I do apologize. We had a SCISA Heads conference where your assistant principals and everybody kind of had to go to that. And then Friday was a crazy day, right, with a super late lunch that affected us all. And then I had an honor roll assembly. We had our report cards last week. So before all of that happened, we were mentioning seat belts in a car and when you have to come to a big giant stop and some of the things from the back started flying forward. But if you really have to go and do an abrupt brake stop in a car, you know how it feels when your body goes forward, and actually it might hurt. Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, particularly your neck. This is why sometimes in those accidents you see people in a neck brace because of whiplash. Their body has also absorbed that jolting action, and it can hurt for quite a while. Yes, sir.
2 questions. Number 1, on bumper cars on the back, why do they have those poles?
Oh, the poles there, they're actually, are they, I know it's been quite a bit of time. Are those actually connected to the ceiling of the, yeah, so that's part of the actual motor itself and the wiring,
Yeah, the
I would
second
imagine.
thing is, why don't they put bumper car, like they take the bumpers off of bumper cars and put them on real cars?
Why don't they do that?
Man, that's a good idea.
Wait, what? If they,
Okay,
Well-
what if you get in a car
if they put
accident and flip?
bumpers
So what is the
on
bumper gonna
real
do for you?
cars,
Right.
they just go blind. You don't
Oh, no, but it's
So there's Lathan's $1 billion idea in 10 years that he's going to start developing today after
still
school.
your idea, Nathan.
If not right now. This, thank you.
It's a safe car. I'm gonna take a Mustang, wrap it around in rubber, and it's
For real.
do with race.
The Lathan, instead of the nice chrome bumper, just that rubber bumper all the way around. Lathan, I will invest in that idea. Arif, remember, yes, you're up next. Yes, sir.
Oh, Maze Restaurant.
Right after him. Arif, let's go to paragraph 6, please.
The idea of a force going in the opposite direction explains the jolt, but it doesn't explain why the cars don't go flying out of the ring. The principle of action and reaction explains why bumper cars do not bump each other out of the ring. The cars stay within the ring because the maximum speed of the cars is carefully adjusted, and also because they have the same amount of power available to them. They can't collide with enough force to go flying.
Okay, so Lathan, that does mean that in your bumper car for real design, you might have to put what's called a governor on the car. And if you're the parent of a teenage boy, you probably have done this as well. My husband thought it would be a great idea to buy my son a sports car. No. Here's where we don't get mad, we get even. Our evil makes us strong. These are all these are the bumper stickers of the life of a parent. So, okay, we got you that Mustang, and now we're going to take it to the mechanic and put a governor on it, and you can't go above 50.
Wow.
So you can vroom vroom all you want. You're going to be the slowest car on the highway.
Yeah.
My mom was
You're going to look good, but you're going to be going slow. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like
So
one
you
of
might
those
want to put some type of governor on it then. You might want to consider that. Like the
Oh, wait.
speed limit may have to go down.
The speed
Or,
probably
you know,
about
something
55.
else may play a factor into that because Yeah, but that's something to think about because you really don't want these cars, when they do bump against each other, to go flying off to the other part of the highway and then causing a mass collision. So do think about that when I go to,
Or they
before I invest all the money in your
here
plan.
between the two highways.
True, that's true. Yes.
If I was to sign on, I would probably snuck out on the house or something and gotta go home and put it on your car.
Wow.
Yeah, he probably should. I mean, if we're going to really be honest about this, you probably should.
Okay, but instead of 50, I'm gonna set it at like 20 or something.
I'm not
gonna
the,
be like.
my man, I'm not the speed demon of middle school. We actually clocked the speed demon of middle school and made it into an algebra problem a few years ago with Mr. Robbie. The lady across the hall, we clocked her. We actually videoed her because I live right behind her, and we videoed her passing me. Then we videoed what my speed was, and then they did a rate of speed, like they counted how many, you know those really long math problems that you don't want to solve, the word problems?
Yep.
It became that. I think they figured out that she was going about 61. I was like, here I am at 46, and here goes Miss Herman. So then they count. Robbie taught them how to count, do a count, you know, whatever, measure from this point to that point. It was like one of the coolest algebra problems ever. Okay, because you never know when I'm filming you. That's right. Hey, can we go to, that's right, still on page 63, and let's see. Who's got my paragraph 7? That's John. Let's read this one first.
Bumper cars run on electricity. Each bumper car is supplied with the same amount of electricity energy. In some bumper car rides, the electricity flows constantly through a metal net stretched across the ceiling. A metal brush at the end of the pole in the car's back carries electricity in the car's electric motor. The motor then converts this electrical energy, into kinetic energy, the energy of motion. Think of the electrical energy as gasoline, and the kinetic energy as the energy that is released from burning gasoline. Some of the electrical energy becomes heat, which is why bumper car motors can get
Are you
hot.
going? So, exactly. Now that explains the poles. And then at the end, what I've never noticed are the brushes on the poles. So basically, you're creating like super static electricity that's helping to run those motors. Now, if you are in bumper cars, what I do remember, I think part of memory is often smells. When those engines do get hot, that's not gasoline. Put your mask on, please, Chance. That's not your gasoline that you're smelling because there's no gas. It's the oil. And there's a big difference between like burning oil and gasoline. It's just, it's a thick, heavy, you can almost see it kind of, smoke, right? But that does explain the poles there. That definitely does. All right, the site evidence this time, maybe a little bit more difficult. Let's take a look. It says every paragraph, and I'm on C, in a text has its own main idea. Y'all, we know that because we came up with topic sentences for all y'all's paragraphs, right? Great ones. You may have to infer this main idea. Some people aren't going to come right out and tell you what the main idea is. They're kind of going to hint around at it, almost make you guess.
So you want to find it.
Right, this is the infer one where you're making that good guess, yeah? So, sometimes it will be stated directly or explicitly, and that seems to be how we prefer. Chance, please put your mask on. Well, then we got to tell Mama she's right down the hall. That is what we preferred. Y'all were trying to win a case with Frankenstein's creature, so all of your topic sentences were stated explicitly. You were trying to get that fourth grader to believe you, right? Here's what it's asking. Underline the statement. Underline basically the main idea in paragraph 6, please. Take a minute for that. Hold up. Let me go ahead and give you a clue. Your main idea doesn't have to be your first sentence. It's not your first sentence. That's right. Oh, erase, 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 erase. Chance, were you trying to get out of the room? Are you going? Do you need to go? Then go. Keep your mask on. Good Lord, what happened to his seat?
It's been like
it would be the weight of the book bag as well. Yes, sir?
I forgot to fill up my water bottle. Can I go?
When he gets back, yes, sir. Absolutely. Topic sentences do not have to be your very first sentence. I know. We'll play around with a sentence later on, and a paragraph later on, typically for when we're writing suspense, and we'll have your topic sentence be the last thing, the very last sentence of your paragraph. It's not your first sentence this time, and this time it's not your last sentence either. So you are on a topic sentence hunt. Yes, sir.
I always thought that it was the first sentence, especially and the way that I used to think that I believed that was topic. It's the top sentence.
Right. And that's how we train you. And for the most part, yeah, that does the server clock. For the most part, it is. But you can hide it. Yeah, you can make them wait for it. Typically, you're building suspense, but we'll see why they're not making it the very first sentence in just a minute. Yes, ma'am. Which one did you find? Yeah, get me back on track. Since we're talking about bumper cars on a track.
The principle of action and reaction explains why bumper cars do not bump into each other ever.
Absolutely. Yes, Maya.
got
Did y'all
that
get
right.
that? So listen to it. So that's your topic sentence. Let's see what they were doing to us. The idea of a force going in the opposite direction explains the jolt, but it doesn't explain why the cars don't go flying out of the ring. Here's the deal. They gave us an interesting situation. Like, why is it, where's your book? Okay. Why is it when we're in a bumper car that when someone hits us, like me going after Chloe, why is it, that when I do get her, she doesn't just go flying out of the ring? Do you see what they did there, though? They made it super fun. They totally made you had a visual of you hitting someone or you getting hit and going flying out of the ring. They got you then. Yes, sir.
Okay, before I go to your restroom, let me say. Every single time you target a small person,
Because
I will just imagine a gigantic, humongous,
Newton's
somebody
Law?
as big as Frankenstein just targeting you the whole time he's in there.
Okay, that's cool because it's Newton's Law, and I am telling you, this will prove I am right, that they are going to go a little bit farther. And it's no fun if I were to go after, say, my husband in a bumper car, then I'm going to get it. I'm going to go after one of my littles. And my littles, I mean, I've got 4 kids. One's 19, one just turned 18. I'm going after the 9 and the 7-year-old, yo. If I want to have fun. Thank you, Maya. Maya gets me. You can go ahead and go.
Later.
You can go ahead and go. Yes, sir.
Somebody needs to put some oxygen in that restroom. I thought I needed gas.
Okay. Yes, sir.
This one time when I was doing it, there was like a 5-year-old here, but then like the mom was in another car.
Yeah.
Cause she was letting him drive
Uh-huh.
the first time.
Yeah.
I also like crashing upon people. So I was on this side of it, and they were going this way, and I rammed into the side of him.
See, it's just that you get a better effect. You get the effect that you want.
I know, cause he was like.
All right, let's keep taking a look. Oh dear, that was horrible. We're gonna do B here in a minute.
I felt so bad when I laughed so hard.
All right, take a look at B. Wait a minute. Let me get them started before we keep doing this. No, you can stay right there, but let me get them started. Now, B says when you summarize, you need to think about the main idea or just the important or key details. Put a box around a detail in paragraph 7 that you would need to include in a summary. Go to paragraph 7, look for a detail, put a box around it. Yeah, this thing's getting slower, like this. Yes, sir?
One time.
Oh, no, we can't. No. People are working right now, and you don't have a book, so you really need to pay attention. All right, I'm just not going to do colored pencils right now. You have like a pencil. It's just too bad.
Well, I have a pencil.
Okay.
It's just, I want to use.
Listen, I can tell you this one already has a point, and that's going to eat the point off. I would just live with that, okay? All right, so once again, you're going to paragraph 7. And you want to put a box around a detail in paragraph 7 that you would Not need to, did you hear that? Not need to include in a summary. A box around a detail that you don't need. I know, and that's a long paragraph. For me, I'm going through them going, okay, I want that, I like that, I don't know about that. I'm just reading, kind of checking it off.
I already know which one it is.
Oh, my head hurts. Maybe it's on the water bottle.
This is really a matter of opinion. But can I just go ahead and say that I would put a box around what I was telling you as far as a sense memory goes, me smelling that burning oil?
Yep.
I would put a box around, and so would the book. Some of the electrical energy becomes heat. That is why bumper car motors can get hot. Because when I was going through it, and you know, that's the last sentence, so you'd have to go through them all. Bumper cars run on electricity. I need that detail. Each bumper car is supplied with the same amount of electrical energy. I need to know that because everyone, when they're watching the bumper cars, is always convinced, ooh, get the blue one, it's going faster. You know what I mean? Like when it's our turn, you run to the one you think is faster, but they're all getting that same amount of electrical energy. One of the things that people aren't realizing when they're watching bumper cars is look for the mass of the person that's getting out of that bumper car. You know? A bigger person has more mass.
Yeah.
So that bumper car is going to go a little bit slower. So, I mean, that's a good piece of information that I would want. Then it says, in bumper car rides, the electricity flows constantly through a metal net stretched across the ceiling. We were already interested in this in the very beginning of the story because we were all trying to figure out what those poles actually were at the back end of the bumper car. A metal brush at the end of the pole in the car's back carries the electricity into the car's electric motor. We need to know that. That's just like if you tried to rub your feet with shoes on against the carpeted floor and then you try to touch your friend to shock them. That's that type of energy. Chance, put your mask on or we're going to get mama. Then you actually, with gaiters, you need to fold them down or they're useless. Okay. The motor then converts this electrical energy into kinetic energy, the energy of motion. See, all of these are so important. And then, oh, by the way, the oil kind of, the car gets hot and the oil stinks. It's like, do we really need that last one? Yes, sir.
I can't figure out what's in that.
At the very, very bottom.
Yeah, we like that very last sentence. Hey, it's actually your turn.
Yes.
Can we go to 64, please? It's not just the jolts. Oh dear, this is when you learn how to get a little strategic with bumper cars.
Strategic.
Charlie, 64, could you read that? I'm sorry, it's a little bit longer. Paragraph 8.
Bumper car drivers experience more effects than just jolts. When two cars bump together, both drivers feel a jolt, but they also sense a change in their motion.
Yeah.
If you collide head-on, for example, your body still wants to go forward. It is restrained only by the seatbelt. Bumper car drivers must wear seatbelts. When you take a sharp turn, the same thing is true. Your body wants to keep going in the direction it was going. When you hit the accelerator, you feel like you are being pressed back in your seat. That is because your body was at rest and wanted to stay that way.
Cool, thank you. Rahel, could you read 9 for us, please?
You are experiencing Newton's first law of motion and at work. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside force.
And of course, it's the other bumper car that is the outside force. All right, Lathan, can you do paragraph 10?
Of course, not even a jolt will get you a bumper. Will get in a bumper car is the same. The strength of a jolt you get is
Listen to this, Chloe.
directly related to your mass. And the mass of the driver who bumps you is a larger adult.
Mm-hmm.
Bump you with his or her car would feel a greater jolt than if you were bumped by someone smaller than you.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Oh, hold on. So if I bump Chloe,
she's gonna
we feel it more. But if Chloe bumps me, it'll be like, what is that? What just hit me?
a fly just landed.
Right?
Right.
Girl, after the pandemic, it is on like Donkey Kong. You and me at the South Carolina State Fair. Let's go for it, Lathan. And while Lathan figures out how to put bumpers actually around real vehicles, that makes us a lot of money. Go for it, Marianne.
Wait, will I grace or not?
Oh, also,
Oh,
if
Lathan,
you...
don't forget to come back and share the money with us.
That's right, I know he will. He's real sweet.
Yeah, come on.
DC, also, if you are...
No, it's 10.
All the cars weigh the same.
Let him read.
Also, if you are sitting still and the other car is moving, the transfer of energy will give you a really powerful jolt. Just like the energy with a bat in hands of the bat. Bump. All that energy passes through.
Okay, so it's going to be more fun if I go after Chloe, less fun for her if she goes after me. But if I'm sitting still, because you know you always get into a bumper car, they're already having some problems, right? If I'm sitting still, she needs to come at me right then.
Yeah.
That's when she can get me. If I am, particularly me, trying to figure out how to use the bumper car, you come at me right at that point, girl. That's the only time you're going to be able to get me, because otherwise I'm coming for you. Okay?
You wouldn't get me.
Girl, you know I would try.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not
1
going to.
year.
I would do like a spin.
1 year. Can you imagine when all of this mess is over and they announced the vaccine early this morning, when all of this mess is over, we are going to have so much fun next year. Like, I bet that we could plan a few little trips like that. We used to have a fair day where we would let you go to the fair with your people, your friends, your parents, or whatever. But quite honestly, even when I was young and Miss Herman across the hallway, the speed demon, was a student here, when we had a fair day, we literally all went to the fair. So I think good times like that will be coming back, particularly that first year when we all don't have to wear these things. I mean, Chance doesn't.
Oh my God!
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Haha.
Let's do that now.
Well, we can't, Sweet Pea, because the fair this time was a drive-through. Now, we're going to need to finish this tomorrow, so let's go ahead and answer some questions, and I need to shut it down. Yes, sir.
2 questions. Number 1, going after the smallest person, it's scientifically the best thing you can do.
Yes,
but
sir.
It's also a little like a bully move. It's not
It
really.
kind of is.
Oh, it's
Okay,
2?
so you want me to have morals when I'm having fun at the fair?
You
Yes.
got morals and everything.
Okay, thank you. You're really bringing it all downtown to me right now, Daniel Harmon.
If it's like
Number
Oh,
10-year-old
Daniel.
versus a 3-year-old
Oh,
that's
he's
still
got-
walking in diapers.
I understand, but I'm not going to go after that. I'm going to go after someone cute like Chloe who can actually come at me. A 3-year-old can't come at me. Daniel has a number 2. What is it?
Number 2.
I did not.
Number 2.
Yeah.
I go call my mother because I asked you to email her before I was in the same predicament that you did.
You got no basketball clothes?
No.
Go get your mama.
That's
All right.
I need a vaccine. I need her permission.
They did announce, I heard from my husband, a vaccine this morning. Charlie?
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
First of all is, it's so weird when I was littler, when I was like 6, when some random dude would bump into me and like target me all the time. That I did some guy.
Well, I gotta draw a line, and I'll go ahead and be honest now that Daniel's out, because Daniel is my moral compass. I will tell you, I'm not going after anyone that small. I'm really coming after your age group because I teach y'all, so I do enjoy coming at y'all as well. All right, tell them bye, because I gotta go.